My heart is heavy as the hurricane draws near. But in times like this, all we can do is hold tight to faith and pray for every life to be spared and clear. I want to pray for all my friends, family, employees. I got houses and offices in Florida, and we're about to get hit with a Category 5. Right now, I'm in my studio in California and my other home, and I'm very excited to do this show here today. As you guys know me, you got to show up to blow up. And today we are going to go head to head on what separates the top 1% from the rest. The relentless drive, the grit, and the mindset that not only makes an NFL pro, but can make you unstoppable in business and life. Get ready to dive in, my friends, into the world of high performance with my guest, my friend, Mr. A.C. Caswell, who has lived it, breathed it, and dominated. Welcome to the stage, Mr. NFL Pro A.C. Caswell. What's up, my brother?
Man, what's up, brother? You know what? If we can hire you as a commentator for the NFL, I think our ratings is going to skyrocket, man. I love what you do, bro.
I appreciate you, my friend. It's always an honor, brother. Podcast. We had a huge podcast last year, episode 50. And, we also spent a great time together on stages in Arizona. It's always a great time speaking on stages around you and being together on events. We bring the heat. And I figure in times like this, today is a little bit rough for me as, Hurricane 5 about to hit my people. And I just pray that everything is going to go great. But in moments like this, as I always talk about, that's when you show up to inspire, to empower. And, we're going to have a great show here today. I prepared a great segment for us. And I want to start with the unseen grind they see, because in the NFL, fans, like, they see the games, they see the glory, they see the highlights. But what does it actually take to be part of the elite, like the 0.01%? Like, where are some of the behind the scenes struggles and sacrifices that most people aren't aware of it? Let's start it there.
Well, first of all, man, such a great question. And I will start off by saying this too, like I always do. Thank you so much for giving us athletes a platform to be able to talk about, the internal things externally, some of the things that people don't see on TV, they don't get a chance to see at the games. And I think that when I answer this question that you asked me, people begin to understand why I am the way that I am in the game of life, right? But brother, let me say this, man, to be a professional athlete, it's funny. I just had this conversation earlier with one of my doctors that was doing a physical checkup on me just through some past injuries from football, right? And he was like, man, how do you endure? How do you continue to stay sustainable going through what you're going through? I said, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. And what people don't realize is that we're like any human being. Hey, we're professional athletes. We have a job to go to. We don't go to practice. We go to work. So you have to change your mindset in anything that you do to prepare yourself for the trials, the tribulations, the ups, downs, the hustles, the mental part, emotional part that we go through as athletes as well. It's not all just roses. It's not always fun and games. It's a work-like mentality. And only a few ever make it at that level. And this is why I tell people, Carlos, hands down, this is no disrespect to any great high school athlete, which you, to this day, if you look at the NFL, there's never been in the history of the NFL, there's never been one of the greatest high school athletes in football that never turned pro in NFL. They can't handle it mentally and emotionally, not physically, but mentally and emotionally. The mindset is a different level, totally different level.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And I was looking at some stats. And so for some of you guys to understand, like, only 1.6% of college football players, they make into the NFL. So the success rate among college football stars in the NFL is surprisingly low. And only 30% of college football stars make it to the NFL. For high school players, the overall probability of going to compete in college is just 7.3%. So yes, if you look at numbers, it's safe to say that around 0.1% of high school football players in US will make it all the way to NFL based on those numbers. And here's how we've broken them down. If we multiply, right, 0.073 times 0.016, we get approximately 0.11 percent, which indicates that roughly 0.1% of high school football players they make it to the NFL. And that's why, I mean, I love it, talking to you guys and having conversations like this to really like talk about this, the unseen stuff, the stuff that we talk about. I often have a saying: success is built in the shadows before it ever shines in the spotlight. And a lot of people, they see why I see the photos, the red carpets, the touchdowns, but they don't see all the crazy shit that we had to couple with and deal with on a day-to-day basis. And that's why it comes, literally goes back to, like you're saying, mindset, consistency in preparation. Like I was talking to a person the other day, man, and the doctor said she was going to die. She was paralyzed, the entire body, only her eyes could move. And they say, come and visit this person, and say your wishes and your prayers. And she's like, hell no. And somehow she started listening to The Secret and to the stories and saying to herself, only with her eyes moving, giving eye contact, please don't pull the plug. Please don't kill me. I'm going to heal. And eventually she started moving her hand. And they're like, no, that's just, it's an anomaly. She's going to die. And the doctor, she's like, telling them, like, and they're like, actually, hold on, let's ask her a question. And they ask a question, and then she moved the pink. And they're like, oh my God, she's responding to a command. It's not like, hold on, we shouldn't pull the plug. And I was like, wow, what a story, and the power of the mind that we can call stuff out and reverse it. But, it's like you're talking about, which leads me to the next great question here, which is practice with purpose, right? In everything we do. I often say that a pro's relationship with practice is different. I talk about this on the stage. You got to have a different relationship with practice, period.
Sure.
What does it look like, AC? And how can entrepreneurs and leaders apply the same kind of discipline and mindset to level up in their fields, in your opinion, my brother?
No, great question again. And here's what I will say to that. And I say this based off of true experience, Carlos. With the viewers that listen right here probably don't know my story. And this is why I say, when you really know who I am, and then you see how I has transitioned into the real world. First of all, I'm one of the only players in NFL history have made it to the NFL the route that I took to get into the NFL. Okay, so when people do their research, they'll know what I'm talking about. So when you're talking about a guy who's gone through adversity, trials, tribulations, the naysayers, the negative people, the doubters, the haters, the non-believers said you're never going to make it. I didn't have a father in my life, so that was against me. I didn't have a good surrounding support system around me. I literally played youth and high school football. I went to junior college, played football and track, had a great 2 years of junior college. But because I ended up turning professionally in track and field first, I forfeited my last 2 years of eligibility for football. I was going to either go to Arizona State or USC. Well, when I turned pro coming into track and field, getting ready for the Olympics, that window of football, it was closed. It's like, man, this guy, he's never going to make it because he didn't go to a traditional 4-year school. So when I got back into football, that ladder that I had to climb to get into the NFL, I actually built that ladder. So think about the mindset that I got to get ready for. Am I ready to take on the naysayers, the doubters, the non-believers, the people who don't want to see me be successful? Am I ready to mentally and physically take on that? Because if first of all, it starts with yourself. I believe that, wait a minute, I got greatness in me. Now, my role may come differently, but I believe and I deserve to be playing in the NFL because I got the same talent. Now, am I going to accept my role getting there differently? Am I going to accept that? Yes, I had to, because I wasn't letting anybody take away that opportunity when I knew I had the talent to be great, just like an entrepreneur. Hey, being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's hard. Nobody has to believe in you. Nobody has to invest into you. Nobody has to rah-rah around your vision. When you're an entrepreneur, you got to go out there and make people believers. Just like me as an athlete, I knew that I had that talent. I said, okay, I'm ready to take it on. Hit me with it. Bro, I went to semi-pro, to Fresno, California to play semi-pro. Like, what am I doing here? But that was my calling. I went to the Canadian Football League for 2 years. I played in Arena Football League. I went to the NFL Europe League. I went to all these leagues before I got into the NFL. I could have quit. I could have gave up. But I believe that if this is a role that I got to take to be successful and to achieve greatness, then I'm willing to do that. Just like an entrepreneur. Hey, I started off like anybody else as an entrepreneur. But what I'm not going to start off with is where you at. I'm at a vision of greatness. And I tell people all the time, Carlos, there's a difference between success and greatness. When I made it to the NFL, Carlos, guess what? I'm successful. I can take care of my bills. I can get back to my community, but I wasn't happy with success. I wanted greatness. And what I mean by greatness, it hurts when you're trying to strive to be greatness. You got to leave people behind. You got to shut the door on people. You got to change your mindset. Okay. So that's where I'm at in my life. But as an athlete, oh man, I tell you this, it prepared me for being an entrepreneur. It really has, right? But I just tell people all the time, man, when you believe that you have greatness in you, you go for it. You go for it.
Amen, my brother. Amen. We got people here fired up. We got a lot of followers of us on LinkedIn. You know, you and I often talk about LinkedIn. Where I tell all my athlete friends, you guys don't get too much out there on social. So we got people here on LinkedIn fired up, which goes right back to the conversations that you and I have offline. All these people here, persistent pays off. Lisa Ann Clark, shout out. Sergio, absolutely amen. So shout out to my LinkedIn family and tribe here. You guys rock. You CAC active there more often, you know what I mean? And no, I love it, but I love it because I often say, AC, champions don't practice until they get it right. They practice until they can't get it wrong anymore, baby. You feel me? And that's the mindset that we apply, man. I love it.
And let me add to that, anybody that's listening, I want them to truly understand this, okay? To achieve success and greatness, you have to understand what it means to fail. You have to understand what it means to lose because that's going to challenge your mindset. As a kid, now I hate losing. Don't get me wrong. I tell people in life, anything that I do, I'm competitive. I build companies to be number one, not to take second place, not to break even, not to be like someone else. I'm building a vision. When I was out on the football field, I don't care who got drafted before me. I don't care who went first round. When you open that door to give me an opportunity, hey, I'm here to be number one. So you have to understand that to do that, you got to be willing to learn the failures. You got to be willing to not say you have to accept failing and you don't have to accept losses, but you got to know what that feels like because that's going to determine, am I up for this? Am I going to take on the challenge? Just like an athlete, when we lose a game, hey, when we lose, hey, we lost. But guess what we do, Carlos? We go back in the film room and we study. We study our issues and our problems and we study our mistakes to say that, guys, if we correct this, we're going to win. But you gotta be willing to accept that.
Yes. I mean, I love it, man. And I love it. And you are somebody, brother, that I love, not just because I spoke at some of your events before, you know, and everything that you do is world class and you adapt. And if something goes wrong, you out there, you are active, you are doing it, you are out there with your team. And the people that you attract, the level of people that come to your events. And, you know, for me, it's always an honor speaking and doing keynotes on athlete events. And I wanted to give you a shout out because I know you have a pretty cool, awesome event coming up in Arizona. So shout out for you guys. Come and check it out, man. Anybody's in Arizona, you know, AC puts out the $1 million Mingo and incredible people coming together. Celebrities, CEOs, founders, people travel from around the world. Last year I was keynoting that. I have friends flying in from Mexico and Europe, and you know, we just had a great time. And I highly recommend you guys come and check it out. The last that I heard was a few tickets left. You know, you guys can go to mdmexperience.com and check it out. My brother's AC event. I'll be keynoting that as well. And then assuming everything's going to go not too crazy in Florida, you know, today, but in God's name, everything's going to be great in Florida. And I hopefully that I can see you guys with AC and I and many of our friends at the end of this month, October 25th to the 27th. You know, we talk business, we have fun, we go, you know, watch luxury polo party. All the who's of all the industries are there. Great place to connect. And I just wanted to give you a shout out for that. But again, you know, you're talking about everything that you do is incredible. And I constantly, sometimes I feel like I'm a preacher because, you know, we speak in the same stuff over and over again because you and I understand the power of repetition in practice, in the field, in business, on and off the field. And that's what great leaders and athletes, they don't shy away from repetition. They aim not to merely practice, but to actually practice with intention, with purpose, like, focusing on improvement each time until their skills become second nature, right? Like I teach my daughter Isabella MMA, soccer, basketball. Eyes on the target, visualize, celebrate. Eyes on the target, visualize, celebrate. It's like, so the eyes is on the target, visualize making, scoring that touchdown, going for that goal, going for the tap out, and that's the stuff. So you become that beast. Is second to nature, and that becomes your identity. And when people become that person, it's kind of hard to undo that shit, because now that's who we are. Like, we hate losing. Nobody remembers second place. I don't remember who is gold or no, who's silver or bronze. I'm a soccer player, ball player. I don't remember who's the second play against, in the World Cup. But you see, and that goes into the next segment, which is that the mindset of resilience, because you and I know failure is inevitable, whether it's on the field or in business. But can you walk us through a time, AC, when you face such an adversity, and what strategies help you just overcome it, but also grow from it? Like, one of the worst, most messed up stuff that you went through in life, and how did you handle that and overcome that battle?
Well, that's a great question. And obviously I can go on about all those type of situations. I will focus on a couple of them because I think it was life-changing in my livelihood. Like I said, I grew up in South Central LA, a very hard part of my community. I didn't have a father in my life. Went through a lot of trials and tribulations. And as I got older, had a great stepfather came into my life. But here's the deal, guys. Because of the lifestyle, we talked about this off the record, Carlos, about who my father was, living that type of dark lifestyle. The first day I signed my contract in the NFL, millions of dollars getting ready to sign my contract, my dad was murdered. Okay. And I had to learn how to pivot. Now, what do I do? How do I go into the NFL with a heavy heart mindset? Just what do I do? So learning those trials and tribulations. I get into the NFL. I finally, my dream comes true. Have a great first year. Second year, I broke a major bone in my foot. The doctor said, if we do this surgery, you would never, ever play again in life. You're done. I said, I have nothing to lose. Do the surgery. Going through that trials and tribulations, like, what if my life is over with? What if my career is over with? I waited my whole career to get this chance to play. Now I have a major injury that can put me out forever. So when you go through these things, the trials and tribulations of adversity and trials and struggles, it tests your will, it tests your mindset, it tests your faith. And same thing in business, right? Like, we've lost millions of dollars to get it right. With my partners and I, we've lost 4 or 5 businesses to get it right. So the thing that I'm saying is that you have to be willing to endure the process. You have to come in and, like you said yourself, with a preparation like no other. You have to be willing to accept and say, look, man, to be number one, to be successful, to be greatness, you're going to go through that. And I just say this all the time. I tell everybody out there, never let anybody tell you that you don't have greatness in you. You got to know how valuable you are. You got to know how great you are, and you got to give yourself a chance to go for it. I'll say this too, Carlos. I tagline this when I'm doing business. People.
We lost AC, but it's all good. I mean, this is live. This is in real time, and that's why. And again, we're not gonna edit it. We're just gonna go with the flow. But I love it. I love it, and I appreciate you guys. I got you, brother. So go ahead and continue. So tell me that tagline.
So the tagline that I created was a few things when people run up to me and say, hey, man, how do I make it? How to do this? How can you, I said, guys, you got to be willing to take risks like I did. You got to buy a ticket to get in the game. You're no good on the sidelines. I don't care what level, but buy a ticket to get in the game. And then also say this, go out and be a door knocker. What I mean by be a door knocker is this. You can sit home all day long with great visions, great dreams. I want to do this. I want to do that. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door saying they want to partner with you. You got to go out there and be the door knocker. You got to buy a ticket to get in the game. I tell people that all the time. So my point is, when you have a vision, you have greatness in you, go for it. We all going to be here to support you. But if you don't get in the game, how do I support you?
Amen. Amen. Even Lisa in over here, all the way from Jamaica. Amen. I got a greatness in me, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Got my Jamaican brothers and sisters in the house, and it's about to go down. If you know the drill, man. If opportunity doesn't knock, you build a damn door. And I have a saying like in every failure lies the seed of a future success. Somebody draw that in your soul, in your spirit. Because if you are willing to find it, you will. It's out there, and again, it's about adaptability and mental toughness to do the shit that we don't like doing it, even though we don't feel like it, right? Knocking those doors, making those videos, going on that field. It's raining, it says no, the weather sucks, let's freaking go. It's like I tell my people all the time, Carlos, how do I get on more stages? I'm gonna literally handle you on the platter, but now it's up to you. All you have to do, I'm gonna give it you the sources, and you gotta apply every week for 5 gigs. Apply for 5 weeks for every gig. You are going to get rejected. I get rejected, but guess what? If you apply for 5 gigs every week, I'm gonna give you the sources and show you how. But you got to apply. That's 20 gigs a month, 240 gigs a year. If you are out there listening to me, you have a story. You have a program to sell from the stage. You have a retreat. You have a mastermind. You have a course. You have a membership program. What do you think it's going to happen when you have something that help others and you applying for 240 gigs a year? You already know, listener, you're going to get at least 1, 2, 3, 5, a dozen gigs a year once a month. And that's all you need. Less is more. But again, that's the preparation that takes the year before. Most events, they book 6, 9 months, 12 months out, right? Like when AC planned his events, he plans them 1 year ahead. I remember keynoting his event last year. He was already selling for this year's event that's coming up on the 25th to the 27th. And where? In Arizona, baby, in DM Experience. How come?
It's going
So
down.
you see, we are having fun, and we are talking about this shit over here. Real, it's raw, it's no teleprompt, none of this BS out there. You'll never catch AC and I on scandals or on DD parties. None of this BS. We are family men. We want to help others, and we are taking things to another level. And now, AC, let's take it one step higher. Let's translate now this next segment into team dynamics through business, because I've been speaking on a lot of workshops that I get called, and a lot of my clients, we get called to do a lot of workshops because team dynamics, a lot of since COVID, mental health is a big problem. I talk a lot about EI when I come in, kind of peel the layers off the onion. Now we can go tactical strategies. And football, it's the ultimate team sport. How important it is, teamwork in high-stake environments, and what lessons can business leaders learn from the way NFL teams operate on and off the field, in your opinion?
Great question. I speak to corporations all over the world and sales teams and CEOs, and I tell them, guys, honestly, it's no difference than what we do in NFL. Obviously, it takes a camaraderie. Got to build trust. Got to build. You have to build trust in your teammate, right? You got to build leadership. You want to build character, and most importantly, I think communication. I always say this, that we always said that your kids are a reflection of who? Your parents, right? Leadership. Your employees should be a reflection of the CEO. Leadership. So when you look at these organizations like the NFL, NBA, we're all grown men, but we also have to buy into, this ultimate moment of, guys, how do we come together? How do we communicate? How do we work together? How do we strategize together? How do we game plan for success? You understand? How do we evaluate things together? Because it takes that. It takes, like we said, a mindset of leadership, commitment. Just like Al Davis taught me, what? To be a Raider is commitment to excellence. Like, you have to be able to build a team around you of winners. Like, if you don't win together, you don't want to win together, you don't accomplish this goal together, then we don't have that success. So me as a leader, as a CEO, I come into my client, to my employees, which I call them my teammates, and say, guys, here's the game plan. Every day we talk, we discuss, we game plan. We talk about who has greatness in this area, who don't. That's fine. But let's make sure that we're putting on the right winning team, the right mindset, the right attitude of believers around. Can we get this job done? Can we be successful? And I'll say this, Carlos, I tell everybody around me, I'm not here to be successful for myself. I want you guys to experience the luxury lifestyle, the successful lifestyle. You got to work. You got to go for it. It's not. They're not just going to give it to you. I'm not going to give it to you. But if I can build the playing field, which we have built the playing field for people to come out and say, guys, this is what success looks like. This is what it feels like. This is what it acts like. This is what it sounds like. Because it started with us going through those trials and those situations to get to this point. So once again, man, I think everybody should evaluate professional organizations and see how they run their organizations, because it is a beauty of success, man. And it's tough, don't get me wrong, but that's what it comes down to.
For real, man. And for real, and to all the founders and CEOs, listen to us out there, man. If you need somebody to come in and rock your world, doing some workshops, sales workshops, your boy AC Cas, my boy here, AC Caswell can rock the house for you. And
And
I often say, man,
if you don't mind, let me say, if you don't mind, real quickly, because I know you're the master at this, but this just came to mind. I want everybody to understand this too, real quickly. If AC Caswell did not do his job at the Raiders, if I didn't score touchdowns, if I didn't make first downs, if I didn't get stats, I'm out of there. You have to understand that even in the workforce, you have a job to do. And if you don't meet those quotas, those requirements, that's business. You have to understand, because if we're ever going to be great together, Carlos, we got to win together. And it takes that in the business world. I tell these sales teams all the time, do your part, do your job. Never take things for granted. Every day you should be seeking to get greater. Every day you should be seeking how to be better, how to be number one. Don't be like the next salesperson in your company. Don't be like the next person, because I don't. Here's one thing I would tell you that's true. When I trained for track and field for the Olympics, all through high school and Olympics, do you think, Carlos, because you and I go to the same high school and we wear the same jersey, the same logo on our jersey, do you think I did all this working out, training, lifting to cross the finish line with you, holding your hand and say, we're both number one across the finish line? No. Same teammate or not, I'm here to get my bonuses. I'm here to get my commissions. And guess what? I don't want your commissions. I want my commissions because I put in the work to separate myself and to make the company more successful so I can live the lifestyle that I want to live. Does that make sense?
yeah, man, that's real talk, my brother. That's real talk. As I often like to say, true leaders don't create followers, they build other leaders. You feel me? And that's how we take teams and to peak performance into a whole nother level. And speaking about peak performance rituals, I mean, athletes often like they have like rituals, to get into peak performance, into peak state. What are some of yours, right? Before the crazy game, you got to win, or the Raiders are out, and you got to win the big game. And how can business leaders create routines that prepare them, for them to perform at the best every single day? Because you already know some of those companies out there, the stocks are going down, the pressure is on, mass layoffs are about to happen if shit doesn't happen, So what would you say to that? I said, maybe some of yours rituals, and then maybe one or two tactics that leaders can apply within their teams for peak performance.
For me, man, honestly, I'm very competitive, Carlos. When it comes to sports, business, life, I'm just competitive, man. I'm here to shut you down. If you're in my industry, I'm here to be number one. And so I think for me, it's about a matter of game planning, researching out your competitors, being able to know kind of what's ahead of you, what's to come, right? Like, don't come in naive and blinded, like, oh, nothing's ever going to happen. But I think for me, man, even as a player, I meditated, I evaluated, I studied. I wanted to know what that picture looks like before and after. Where some dangers coming at, and how do I prepare for it, right? How do I prepare myself and my company to say, hey guys, because we're communicating and we're meeting and we're brainstorming together, let's be ready. That's what great leadership is. Not knowing just for yourself, but making sure that your company and your team around you are all on the same page, so they know how to attack, they know how to pivot, they know how to transition, right? As we all saw that through COVID. We all had to make a pivot and a transition. Some made it, some didn't. Think about the NFL. How many guys didn't make that transition into life? They're no longer with us because they're depressed, mentally most messed up, emotionally messed up. They've either committed suicide because of the stress. They didn't know how to make that transition into the real world, as we all have to, right? But I think that you have to see the same in business. Like, you have to be ready to understand what is the next move. prepare your team, talk to them, fellowship with them, encourage them, lift them up, get them ready for the battle, because it is a battle, hands down. You got to
Yeah.
make sure you may be ready, but what if I'm not ready and I'm part of your team? That could possibly bring some things down. So I just believe that the unity, the camaraderie, the communication, it plays such a major role.
That's so true, man. It's so true. As you were talking here, I was reflecting, and I mean, I often talk about like new levels, new devils, right? Be careful what you wish for, and because it's always something like we cannot, like, now we recording this show live. We cannot control whether the weather, hurricane is about to hit in Florida right now. Sometimes I'm on the stage, I'm over here in Silicon Valley and my other home, and I'm speaking, and you just, made $1 million from the stage, but then you get off the stage, and the next call, oh, somebody trying to kidnap your mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you're like, shit, you know what I mean? Because I have properties in South America, in Brazil, and down there is a whole nother beast. But again, we prepare ourselves for those things, right? It's like you gotta prepare yourself daily. What is your worst nightmare? Like, what is the stuff? And when you prepare and you adapt, I don't care if it's a morning routine, it's a mental conditioning that you tell yourself, and you replay that shit in your mind over and over again, that preparation. So when days like this happen, a hurricane is about to hit a lot of my properties and offices in Florida, even though I'm over here in Cali, but my mind is like, it's prayers. And I got to be focused here as well, right? To do a great interview with you, because we pre-schedule it. But again, that's how you got to do it. Same thing in sports, right? Like a player maybe got injured, not feeling good, and now, oh shit, we got to replace this person. And and then it's like you say, it's important to check on your team, to check on your employees. You feel somebody down, hey, how you really doing today? Like, not how you doing, like, just no, how you really doing right now, today, and knowing, feeling that layer, helping that person, pumping them up, getting them, let's go. We got a big day. We got some goals to rock it. Let's go, because if we don't operate, masses will be laid off. Like, shit's gonna hit the fan, and then you're not gonna have a job next week, whatever the case may be. All this pressure that you and I hear all the time in corporate America, and that's why the training never stops. And now, see, I want to transition into that next play. Like in the NFL, things, they move so fast, as you and I know. I mean, you have to transition quickly, from one play to the next. Win or lose, it's always a transition. It's always, you got to make a move. How do you carry out that next play mentality into business and life? And then, why is that so critical for success, my friend?
Yeah. Well, like you said, you whenever you get to a professional of anything, it's rapid fire. Okay. There's another gear, there's another level, it's like this. And you have to train yourself, for that next play. Like you said, hey, quickly, what did I do? How can I do it better the next play? Right? How can I make the adjustments? How can I make the transition quickly? Because that's the same in life, the same in business. It's the same transition. It's the same transaction in life and business. You have to be ready to know that, hey guys, we know that next play is coming. So I say you have to recognize that the next play is coming. Regardless of what you think, that play is going to happen. Either you're going to be with it or you're not going to be with it. Either you're going to do your part or you're not going to do your part. So I think you have to be willing to accept the next play. Most people say, like, hey, that was yesterday. We know this, Carlos. You'll never see yesterday again. It's gone, right? But how can you game plan for the next play in life, in business, in family? How can you take the situations that you're going through and to evaluate and say, hey, guys, first of all, that next play, I'm gonna do better. Okay, I'm gonna make my corrections. I want to be great that next play. I want to show the team that I deserve to be here. Right. So that's what I think. You do the same in life. You do the same in business. You prepare yourself for the next play. You said it brilliantly, man. I love that tagline. The next play. It's something behind that. What does that look like for somebody's in their life for the next play? What am I going to do to position myself for the next play? You understand what I'm saying? Am I going to train myself to be better? Am I going to, sometimes you gotta forget about the past, right? Hey, look at a quarterback. He may throw a crucial interception. His role is so positioned where you gotta let that go. If you let that haunt you, it can ruin the whole game, the whole team, the whole outcome. You gotta be small-minded, short-living, and let it go. Get ready for the next play. That was brutal what you said, brother. You got listen, Carlos, you got me. Carlos, you got me to bring police out of retirement, man. I'm ready to hit the field, bro.
The game is not over until the whistle is it is not over until we say so, baby, for real. That's real talk, my brother. And speaking of field, man, and speaking of legends, I mean, you and I, we've been mentoring by some really, really tremendous individuals. And some of our early mentors, they are no longer here. I know that you personally had the honor to spend, a long time with the legendary Al Davis. You even mentioned Al earlier in the show. What was one piece of advice, AC, that had a lasting impact on you, brother? And how do you implement that in your business and leadership today?
Well, you said it right hand, man. Al Davis, God rest his soul. He was my mentor on and off the field. He told me straight up what he expected for me to be a Raider, hands down. He was like, look, to be a Raider, you got to have this mentality. And if you don't present that, you out. So he told me straight up, hey, I brought you here to be a Raider because I love your qualities. I love your style. I believe that you're a Raider for life. And to this day, he has proven that to be true. But he also told me what he expected. He said, AC, I expect commitment to excellence, hard work. I expect for you to be number one in everything that you do. And not only that, you carry that over in your lifestyle. Everything that you do, you make sure that you represent the Raiders. And here's what I loved about Al Davis, that people didn't know this. He was a minority. So for him to believe in me as a minority, that I had the same greatness to be successful as a professional athlete, he gave me a chance when nobody else did, brother. He gave me a chance to come in and have my life to be changed around. And he always told me, hey, everything you do in life, you do it with commitment to excellence. You do it to be number one. You do it to be great. And you do it with leadership and pride. And I carry that in my life as a family man, as a businessman, as an athlete. Everything that I do, man, that man, he meant the world to me. And he showed me straight up, guys, we're the Raiders. We're the best team in the world. We're going to live luxury. We're going to be number one. When we fly into teams, man, we got motorcades and all the stuff. He made sure people knew that we the Raiders. So that's what I took. So when people come around me and say, oh, you're Hollywood or you're bougie, you're bling bling, I said, no, it's not that. I'm confident. I said, when I do things, we're here to be number one. It's going to be the best of the best that you want to experience. So that's just me in a nutshell, man, without.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. I love it. We got a Darlene over here. She's like, hey, hello. Been listening to you guys while I'm putting things up for the hurricane, man. All my Florida friends, family, clients, they are out there, man, barricading their homes, patching their businesses. It's like, it's like the training never stops, as we've been praying for the whole gang out in Florida. But I love them. I really enjoy, talking about those guys because I often say mentorship is a torch, like the Olympic torch, that fire. But guess what? The fire is how you carry it forward, right? All these incredible people that we're learning from, like learning from the greats and just getting on and never losing that drive, that fire that they pass that on to us. And they say, let's talk a little bit about business branding and that 0.01% mindset that separate us, from all this guys. I wanted to encourage and help everybody here, like really, like guys, it's about let's take one up. Let's finish 2024 on fire. Today we're recording this live October 9, 2024. This will be released episode 76 this following Monday, every Monday at 7:17 a.m. Pacific time. We record and we release a new episode where carlosinspireshow.com. So come and check it out. This show, as you guys know, is free. I bring the best, the most incredible people into the show, celebrities, athletes, CEOs, and I do my very best to extract their best, their wisdom, and having a conversation like this that we go back and forward, and having a great time so that you guys can get out there, keep pushing it, keeping it making, because the best gift that AC and I can give you here is to help you guys, to challenge you guys, to inspire, to empower you. So you get out there, go make some more money. Now take some of the revenue that you made, reinvest back in your business. Some of the best things that AC and I have done as we grow our companies and the events that we do and everything that we do is that we go, now we hire CEOs, we hire CMOs, we hire CFOs, we hire better teammates, and now we let them go and run the business because they know how we think. And now guess what, my friend? That's the best gift that I can ever give you, which is to buy your time back. So now you can do what you love. Like now, AC and I, we can hang out. We can fly out to Vegas and meet up and have a good time. We can fly to each other's events. We can get out there and empower the communities, empower the nonprofits. Speaking of nonprofit, man, if you guys don't know this about AC, he brings different unknown nonprofits to his event every year. He picks like 5 nonprofits that nobody knows about them, that they like from the barrios, from the hood, from the block, not the stuff that you guys see on the commercials on TV, and he gives them a shot. The same way how Al Davis gave him a shot, he gives the little guy a shot. Like you guys know me, it's about giving a voice for the voiceless. You know what I mean? Taking to another level, creating blue oceans within oceans. So I want you guys to come and check it out. The MDMexperience.com. You feel me? But I mean, you built a brand, beyond football through your ventures and your businesses and philanthropy that I just brought it up here. What advice would you give to others on how to build a brand that stands out and attracts opportunities? I mean, like you built over this past couple of years, man, with your events, your philanthropy, your initiatives with these nonprofits. It's just incredible.
Yeah, well, I think, you said a key, and I want to say this too from my heart. Please let anybody know that's listening to us throughout Florida, anybody that's dealing with the hurricane, our prayers are definitely with you and your families and safety. That's number one. But I think you hit it right on the head. You have to understand, Carlos, that even as a professional athlete, as a kid, I knew that I wanted to become a brand, right? I'm going to bring versatility. I'm going to bring more stake and value who I am as just an athlete. So as I'm getting to the NFL, my nickname, I say this all the time, I'm the original cheetah, not Tyreek Hill, no disrespect. I'm the original cheetah. I'm the cheetah since I was a kid, but I knew that became a brand. Like I knew that I was going to be AC Caswell, the NFL player, but my nickname is the Cheetah because I drove more fan base to want to come and see me. They bought more tickets to come and see me. Now, as an adult in business, guess what? I'm building my Cheetah brand around that. I have my Cheetah Tequila that's coming out. It's called the Cheetah Tequila. I'm bringing out.
Let's go.
I have part of cannabis. I have my Cheetah Cannabis Blaze line coming out. So I have different products and merchandise coming under me being a brand. So what I would tell people as an athlete, as a businessman, as a company, when you build your company, it has to be structured more than one way. Like when I built Million Dollar Mingle started in 2006 as a high profile private luxury fundraiser, right? It started off that way. The key is it started that way, but it also became a brand where now we have our own luxury events, our own luxury event management company. We have our own merchandise. We have our own, everything we do is a brand of the Million Dollar Mingle. Now that company just became more versatile. It became more appealing. It has more value worth. I could have just stayed in one area just to be charity. I said, no, people love this brand. And if they love this brand, why not give the people what they want in return? Because we are a brand. So I tell people all the time, when you're creating that name, that logo, you should already be visualizing how can my name and logo that I'm creating. That's why you take personal time to create that most unique, amazing name and logo that's going to become marketed and branded to become a brand, right? So that's what I teach people. Learn how to leverage your business as you're planning it. Visualize, be creative, be innovative. Don't just say, hey, I'm going into this industry and I'm only stuck in that industry. Become a brand. As owners, become a brand. As your business, become a brand. So I love the branding part and marketing.
Real, brother. That's real talk, man. And we got everybody over here fired up. Darlene and her grandson is playing. Also, since he could pick the ball up, playing for JV and varsity, she put a comment down here, and then she's over there working, going through those tornadoes, and it's just crazy over here. It's live, it's real time, and the tornadoes and the hurricane is hitting. We have our viewers here listening and watching, talking about keeping at 100. Lisa, thank you for today's program. It was inspiring. Thank you, my friends. Like without you guys, we couldn't done this. Without people listening to us, without you guys coming to our events, listening to us, even like the simple fact of liking this post, sharing it, reposting it, tagging somebody here right now. Who do you know in Arizona? What is other nonprofits that you know? Have them come and hang out in Arizona with us. You never know. You come over there, you meet your AC, you introduce yourself to him. AC love collaborating and helping others. You guys know me. I love interviewing people, sharing incredible stories. You guys know I love helping people, getting them on more stages because why? It's the fastest way. Either you want to have a celebrity giving you a shout out or getting on a stage. It's the fastest way to grow a business, a brand, to sell your product. And now we have to be careful. Earlier, when you guys saw me joking around, you never catch AC or me at a Diddy party. You got to be careful which celebrities you associate with, which parties you go, which photos you are taking to, because at the end of the day, that reflects on your brand. You know what I mean? And that's what I see and we are about. It's family, it's faith, it's helping others and leading from the front. I often tell you guys all the time, stop worrying about what am I going to post today, what am I going to create? Document the process. Just like AC and I've been doing since day one. We just document every day the struggles, the wins. His father and mine. My stepfather was murdered as well. We have that in common. We come from some messed up backgrounds, but guess what? Our background, our environment didn't determine our greatness. He became the cheetah for the Raiders. He became the cheetah at his environment. And that's the life, the person that he embraces it. And he walks it that way every time. I can see my brother here online, offline, on Zoom, on the stage, always the same, always fired up. It's always a great time. It's about to go down as we're getting towards the end, which is, the saddest part. I want to go into legacy, because, beyond sports, AC, what kind of legacy do you want to live in the business world and for the next generation? I know you have a few kids that I had the honor to meet at your events. What is your why and that thing that just really keeps you going every day that you're like, I'm tired. This shit just hit the fan, whatever that is, what is that for you, brother? What is that legacy beyond sports and now that you wanted to do in business?
That's so powerful, Carlos, what you said. And I think everybody has to understand this. I want them to hear me clearly. Your legacy has to be bigger than you. It has to be bigger than you. I didn't play the game of football for me. I played the game of football for legacy, for my children's children. Thank God the Raiders honored me with my legendary brick that's in front of the stadium for life. Guess what? My children's children can see that. That's their last name that they carry, right? In business, I don't build companies just for success now and for me. I'm building companies for the children's children. I'm building companies for my employees to say, hey guys, when you hit certain levels, you can get ownership into the company. That's what legacy to me is about. Longevity, sustainable. When I'm gone, guess what? That legacy should still be carried on. It wasn't just about what I can get right now and leave everybody else. It's about, am I willing to put in the hard work, the time, the effort, the energy when you like you said, when you're tired, when you're ready, when you're just down and out and you're like, man, what's my why? What's going to keep me going? That's what my legacy is about for me. It's about building that generational wealth, generation success, generational knowledge, right? Like when you can go to your kids and children's children and give them, hey, that's hot. Don't touch that. That's legacy wealth. That's legacy training. That's legacy education. That's what life should be about. When you come into owning a business or becoming an athlete, it's not about the houses, the cars. That's going to disintegrate. But it's about, what did you leave the floor plan? Did you leave the map on how I can continue to be successful? Like I tell my kids, when I die, the companies are yours. I'm not going to give it to you. You're going to have to work for it because I built the legacy for you guys. Come in, here it is. That's my mindset. It's bigger than just you. That's what legacy has to be about.
I love it, my brother. I love it, man. I say, champions' legacy isn't in what they achieve, but in who they inspire,
Yeah.
and wow, just incredible, my friends. And AC, what is the best place for them to follow you, for them to continue this conversation? Where you hang out the most on social media? What is the best place for them to follow you, my friend?
Definitely, man. I'm such a private, low-key person, but I tell people, in football, you couldn't catch me. Now you can catch me, right? So best way for me, they can all hit me up on my Instagram. I'm simple. I'm AC Caswell 19. Oh, I'm sorry, AC 19 Caswell. I have a few IG pages, but just go to AC 19 Caswell. Hit me up. Say what's up to me. You can catch me on LinkedIn, AC Caswell. I'm really simple. And if you want to come out to the event, we're out close to selling out, Carlos. We're bringing people in from all over the world, man, celebrities, athletes. Go to mdmexperience.com. We have hotel lodging. You're going to meet some amazing people from all over the world who want to know who you are, big or small. We want to network with you. We want to support you. Come out and experience the MDM experience. I'm telling you guys, if you don't want to miss this, when I tell you people from all over the world is going to be here. So, guys, hit me up, shoot me a message. I love to follow up with you. And once again, Carlos, thank you so much, my brother, for giving us athletes a platform. There's so many great athletes doing great things, and they need a platform. So thank you for giving us this vehicle to be able to share with your network and share with the world.
Nah, man. Thank you, my brother. As always, an honor, man. You know me, I'm big in sports. I want to help every kid out there that don't have a hope right now in the streets. As I saw so many kids dying. For me, it's an honor. I have so many incredible friends like you that play in NFL, soccer, NBA, and I'm on the board of Team USA MMA. Right now, the Team USA, they're gonna be competing in Romania at the end of this month. So, I love sports because I know it saved my life. It helped me dealt with the suicidal, the mental health, and all the crap that I had to do, growing up. And I want to leave you guys with the saying that I always talk about on stages. And I want you guys to tattoo that in your soul that champions, they aren't born, but they are built. It's the day to day. As you guys always see me talking about the days that break you are truly the days that make you. It's like going through that crap that we don't feel like doing it, right? Through that pain, that passion, that relentless practice over and over and over. Like my brother Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. We were gonna have him on the show, but he passed away on my birthday, and he was out there on a Friday night, a Saturday night, and a Sunday practicing, time away from family. His friends were going to bars and clubs, but he was in the field, in just putting in that time when nobody was watching, putting in the time before we hit the field, the stages, the red carpets, and all the other stuff, guys, is temporary. You know what I mean? But it's the shit that we do behind four walls when nobody's watching. That's when we are being built. We are not born, we are built. So whether you guys are out there in the field, in the boardroom, or just starting your journey, know that my brother AC and I, we pray for you. And remember that the game isn't over until you decide to stop playing. God bless you guys. Have a blessed day.